Having focused on the range-topping GSR at the recent Australian launch, it's time to turn our attention to the Mitsubishi Triton GLS, the variant that's expected to command the bulk of buyers' attention. Less of a workhorse than the rugged GLX models, but without the eye-catching adornments of the GSR, the new generation GLS is a lot more expensive than before, but also improved in virtually every area. This is good news for Mitsubishi fans, but it's unclear whether it'll be enough to change brand allegiance. How safe is the Mitsubishi Triton GLS? As a new generation model, the 2024 Mitsubishi Triton GLS comes stacked to the gills with safety equipment including front, side and center airbags for the front occupants, curtain airbags and a driver's knee airbag. On the driver assist side of things, there's the full kit and caboodle, including autonomous emergency braking with cyclist and pedestrian detection, junction assist, post-collision braking, lane departure warning and assist, blind spot warning, adaptive cruise control, intelligent speed limiter, traffic sign recognition and driver monitoring with attention alert. But more on that later. In terms of parking assistance, there are sensors front and rear, a rear view camera, and a multi-around monitor that gives a bird's eye view of the car, handy for not just parking, but also low-speed off-road maneuvering. The new Triton has not yet had its safety credentials tested by a NCAP, so goes unrated for the time being. Mitsubishi is expecting a maximum 5-star result. What powers the Mitsubishi Triton GLS? For hauling duties, the GLS uses the same tried and true 2.4-litre 4N16 diesel in single turbo guise. This produces 181 HP and 430 Nm of torque, channeled to the rear wheels through a 6-speed automatic. Modest on paper numbers compared to some of the heavy hitters out there, but our tested 0-100 kph time of 9.3 sec is in the same ballpark as the Toyota 2.8-litre and the Isuzu 3.4-litre. Granted, it isn't as torquey as either, but it puts down its power more cleanly. Acceleration only tapers off appreciably past the highway limit. The 6-speed shifts smoothly enough, though it could use an extra gear or two between first and third. A plus gate on the shifter allows for manual shifting. It isn't any faster, but it allows you to lock into lower gears for hill descents and light off-roading. How fuel efficient is the Mitsubishi Triton GLS? In terms of fuel economy, we saw an average of 12-14 km per litre in mixed driving, never going below 7-8 km per litre in traffic, with peaks of 19-20 km per litre on the highway at modest speeds. What is the Mitsubishi Triton GLS like to drive? Most current owners should find the 2024 Mitsubishi Triton GLS a sizable improvement in terms of on-road manners. The engine is stronger and more responsive, the ride is calmer, the handling more assured, and the new electrically assisted steering is much, much better. Direct and very well weighted, it's one of the better Ute systems out there and makes the Triton easier and more enjoyable to drive. But sadly it does feel somewhat at odds with the suspension calibration. The Triton's ride isn't too bad, but it could use more body control, taking a moment to settle over big hits. Combine this with the direct steering, and it feels a bit out of phase. How good is the Mitsubishi Triton GLS off-road? On paper, the 2024 Mitsubishi Triton GLS's new dimensions should hinder if off-road. It's a larger vehicle. The turning circle has increased by almost a meter. The longer wheelbase means ramp over angle has suffered and approach and departure angles are no better than the old car. That said, it's still very capable, even on the standard highway spec tires, scrabbling up gnarly rock faces with little fuss in low range with the rear diff locked. On less challenging terrain, the traction control deals with any wheel slip with reasonable efficacy. As with most standard dual cabs, tires will limit where it can ultimately go, followed by ground clearance. Keep those things in mind, and it should reach most places. What technology does the Mitsubishi Triton GLS feature? Anyone familiar with the current Outlander will feel at home in the 2024 Mitsubishi Triton GLS. The 9-inch infotainment screen is a direct lift from its medium SUV, and it works effectively. It's not necessarily cutting edge, but has all the features most will ever want or need, including Amphania B+ radio, embedded sat-nav, wireless Apple CarPlay, but wired Android Auto and Bluetooth streaming all played through a 6-speaker stereo. Wireless charging is included, too, in addition to USB-A and USB-C ports. Some are criticizing the new Triton for its lack of an all-digital dash, but do buyers in this segment care? The analog dials are easy to read, and there's a central digital readout for various vehicle info: trip, drive split, infotainment, as well as control of vehicle settings like the advanced safety assist systems. What is the Mitsubishi Triton GLS like inside? Inside the 2024 Mitsubishi Triton GLS is a relatively no-frills affair, but this should suit most buyers just fine. In general, it's function over form, and to the car's credit. There's still a manual hand brake, old-school gear selector and plenty of hard plastic. But handy dual glove boxes, decent storage, hard keys for all the climate controls, and the steering wheel is excellent. For me, the driving position was slightly off, as I would have liked the wheel to come out a fraction more. But that's more likely a personal problem than one of the car. In the back, that wheelbase stretch has done wonders for legroom, and the seat itself is relatively comfy. While Mitsubishi's decision to use roof-mounted air vents actually makes a lot of sense. Do you want fresh, cool air on your face and torso, or on your shins? How much does the Mitsubishi Triton GLS cost? The 2024 Mitsubishi Triton GLS 4x4 dual cab sits towards the top of the Triple Diamond brand's new generation Ute range, though there are only 5 variants currently, so that isn't saying a whole lot. Pricing of $59–90 plus on road costs is a hefty increase over the $51 to $490 plus ORC needed for the previous generation GLS. But the Triton still undercuts its main rivals. You'll need $63–390 for a Ford Ranger XLT2, $61,000 for an Isuzu D-Max, LSU Auto, $62,660 for a Mazda BT50 GT, and $63,260 for a Toyota Hilux SR5 Plus on road costs on all counts. A Nissan Navara TX is cheaper at $58,445 plus ORC, but is also beginning to feel its age.